This is Messages from the Universe with Laurie Wondra of Your Life Core. Here, Laurie delivers information from the Mastery Realms related to astrology, planetary influences, energy surges, and generally how we are evolving. She connects with angels, guides, ascended masters, astro beings, and those that come forward with messages to help us on our journey. Welcome, everyone, to Messages from the Universe podcast.
Hello, I am Laurie Wondra, and thank you for listening. There is continued talk about spiritual awakening and the shifts that we're experiencing, and that an elevation of our evolution is imminent. It's believed that cosmic energies through our sun have speeded up our evolution since 1999. And since then, and continued through the future, there's going to be certain times that the energy is elevated. How we experience these shifts and changes is as unique and diverse as we are. The world population right now is about 8.1 billion people. So those are massive variations in how individuals can experience awakening or how they are experiencing the shift. And there are major signs that indicate we're in a time of spiritual awakening. And I'm going to cover some of those today, as well as what's the outcome. When you go through a spiritual awakening, what does that mean? Today I want to cover intuition or living intuitively. So after you experience some of these symptoms of spiritual awakening, what does intuition or living intuitively mean? Well, first, let's talk about what is spiritual awakening. The spiritual awakening means dissolving of oneself as a separate being. It refers to growing awareness of reality, living fully moment to moment, being present. And when we understand our self and our energy, it's understanding that we're not just a physical body. We have a physical body. We have an etheric energy field. We have an emotional field. We have a mental field. We have a spiritual field, and we're connected to the astral fields, and that connects us to everything. The root cause of all or most suffering in today's world is a sense of being separate in our existence. Amma Bhagavan describes this as experience reality without it getting filtered through your everyday mind. I think that's almost impossible to have no filters. What I feel it means is that our filters are changing, shifting, but we are also very aware of our filters. And it is possible to turn them off and assess our experiences later. This has been referred to as spiritual enlightenment, and that's our natural state, is understanding our energy fields, understanding our emotional field as our compass, our mental field as those processes and practices that help guide us, understanding our connection to the spiritual realm and the astral plane, and having the ability to turn off, to open, to assess, to explore. Those are all being awakened. And why is this important? It's because the universe is directing this as part of our evolution. Let's talk about some simple but yet major signs that can indicate you're in the midst or you are experiencing a spiritual awakening. 1. Physical body changes. Have you felt the desire to eat better or exercise more, to get moving? Our bodies are challenged by higher frequencies, and those frequencies are flooding the planet, so we need to adapt to these energies and shift to a higher frequency to meet that of which is coming to us. You may feel more aches and pains than usual when you wake up in the morning. The new energies amplify whatever we carry in our body related to our thoughts and emotions. So, for example, you may feel more fatigued than you did a few years ago. To assist your body to integrate the new energies, it needs to also upgrade to a higher quality. And the higher quality means better sleep, better food, better water, more exercise. Those things prepare the physical body to contain more light, more energy, and to continue its evolution. 2, I mentioned sleep. Well, sleep patterns are changing. Do you need more rest than usual? Or maybe less? rest than usual? Or do you go days where you need just a few hours of sleep and then days where you need a lot of hours of sleep? You may wake up more during the night, dream more. 20 or 30 minutes of rest during the day can refresh you for a while. You may also need to nap throughout the day. I've noticed that in myself is if my schedule allows me to do this, I'm listening to my body. And sometimes even you may need to spend most or part of the day in bed. And other days you don't need a lot of rest time and you have all the energy accessible to you to act and to be out in the world. 3 is body energy sensations. Have you experienced unusual body sensations? For example, like pressure on the top of your head, tingling on your scalp, movements of energy inside your body, or your heart chakra tightening or pulsing differently or opening up. Unfamiliar sensations between your eyebrow or in the middle of your forehead can indicate the opening of your third eye or your clairvoyant center. You might become more sensitive to pain, to heat, to cold, to pressure systems, or energy anywhere in your body. You can feel like you have a sudden flow or a rush, a surge of something. 4, flashes of inspiration and creativity. Have you received flashes of inspiration or spurts of creativity? You may become aware of more subtle energies. You might see inner images or colors. For example, if you close your eyes, you might see flashes of color, or you might notice imprints or faces on the floor of your kitchen. Your intuition may be stronger. You may have a direct knowing of something, a sense when something is right or not right. You might feel it physically in your body, such as shivers or goosebumps on your arm. That might be indicating the truth of something or that you've said something that resonates with you. 5, old emotional patterns resurface. Have emotional issues you thought healed reappeared again? To awaken requires emotional cleansing and healing of the deepest unconsciousness. The codes and the keys that are coming in now are forcing us to heal those ancestral wounds, to look at those past lifetimes, those shatterings or scatterings that we've experienced in previous lifetimes and consolidate them into this timeline. It requires healing of all limiting benefits and beliefs, any images or memories at the DNA cellular levels. When our emotional reactions to people or events decrease, this indicates the process of awakenings. An example is if you, in the past, pondered and analyzed and speculated and labored over something you did or an action you didn't do, and it bothered you for weeks or months at a time. That decreasing of how you treat an event. Maybe it's decreasing now to 30 minutes, then 25, then 15 minutes, then down to 5 minutes, and down to 1 minute, and finally 0. That you're able to navigate through experiences without the analytical digestion and beating yourself up over something that you can't control. When we arrive at a place of no reaction, we accept what is. We accept the reality of what is, whether it is pleasurable or painful. 6, increased waves of emotions. Do you feel surges of emotions, like highs of being very excited and happiness, and lows of being sad, or other emotions such as anger, bliss, peace, for no reason at all? Acknowledge and allow yourself to stay present with those emotions and let them be there without doing or having to respond to anything. Sometimes it is an emotion of the past. This is the collapsing of the timelines, where you might feel an emotion. It's triggered by something external to you, and your job is just to be present with it, not judge it. You might not have to even understand it, but acknowledge it. It's somewhat like the inner child parts of us that are wanting to be seen and heard and acknowledged. Once it is acknowledged and seen and heard, it quiets. 7, noticing outer signs. You may become more aware of meanings in outer symbols such as animals maybe crossing your path. You might notice shapes in the sky or faces on trees. You might feel that your animals that have crossed over are coming to visit you. You might find other outer signs that can reflect or mirror something within you, or an inner change that you're experiencing. The key is that you're noticing, you're being curious, you're pondering that there is something else there that's trying to communicate to you in a good way. Number 8, synchronicities. Synchronicity can be seen as a meaningful coincidence. In other words, your inner and outer experiences match up without any related reason. For example, you may think about an old friend that you haven't seen in years, and suddenly he shows up or calls you. Seemingly coincidences can show up on your path of awakening. They can be people or events showing up to support you. 9, desire for freedom. Have you found yourself with an intense desire to break free of restrictive habits which no longer serve you? Notice the global manifestation of change. This worldwide phenomenon indicates the wave of awakening sweeping the planet, a wave out of suffering, of separatism into oneness and unity for all people with an equal sharing of all world's resources. Our response to global events shows that we understand we are connected. If we feel we can't support or we can't solve an issue that's happening across the globe, we can put our energy to that, understanding that everyone deserves freedom. Everyone deserves the space to love, for peace, for happiness, and certainly for abundance. Number 10, a shift in perception. Have you ever had a shift in awareness where you saw a situation as if with new eyes and your whole attitude changed? Tony Robbins tells of a time he was on a long flight and noticed a father traveling with his 3 small children. The father sits quietly, staring down into his lap, and his 3 children are running around screaming. He notices people around him talking, judging the man for being oblivious to his out-of-control children. And Tony says he has the courage to approach this man and ask him to please manage his children as they're disrupting the rest of the passengers. The man apologizes and says that they are all quite dazed, as he has just learned his wife has died. All of a sudden, instead of judging, the passengers feel compassion and view the situation differently. The surrounding passengers take over, calm the children with coloring books, snacks, books, and other help items. With awakening, our paradigm shifts, and it occurs in the same way. For example, once something or someone who once got under your skin with some odd behavior no longer bothers you at all, you see the person differently. The law of the universe is once our energy interacts with another form of energy, it is forever changed. The universe is dropping in codes and keys and programs for us to change. We can never know what our minds, the phenomenon of awakening, will create for us. Our minds analyze and want to understand, and oftentimes as humans we want to control, and therefore that keeps us separate. We can set intents, we can practice meditation, we may have gathered spiritual techniques and practices that strengthen our connection to the divine, yet we can never make awakening happen. It happens with us, to us, around us, when we're ready. When we come to a place of complete surrender, then awakening happens by divine grace. You can set as many intents in the world and attempt to manifest, but if you are not ready or if the timing is not right, it simply won't happen. Awakening can manifest in a flash, or it may drift in and out of periods of long time. Bliss and peace beyond emotional reactions. But over years, it becomes permanent. It is not a one-time thing. It is a steady, progressive growth. So how do you know if you are awakening? And that's the term, awakening. It's not awakened because we're never done. Well, some of the traits of being in this process of awakening is becoming more intuitive. So let's describe those traits of an intuitive person. Empathetic. This is about being aware that you are empathetic and not being afraid of it. It's understanding this is a gift, and the maturity is that you are not afraid of it. You have the ability to feel feelings, and sometimes it's okay to be confused whether they're my feelings or another's feelings. It's okay to think or to know that sometimes when you walk into a room of high energy, you will feel it, but you're not afraid of it. You're willing to explore what this means. You understand it is a gift, and you begin to learn how to use it without attempting to control it or block it or run from it or avoid it. Empathetic is a sure sign of your evolution because you are feeling, and you are feeling one with the environment. 2, creativity, being creative. Now, creativity comes in many forms, and sometimes we think of only artistry, but creativity is required for problem solving. It often helps us navigate life. Being creative relates to involving the imagination or original ideas and expanding, changing, or developing them. Number 3 is being observant. Being observant is allowing yourself to be present in the moment and witness what is happening around you or to you. Being the observer of the observer. That's you watching you, what you're seeing, feeling, sensing, thinking, learning. It is being open to the energy of the universe without expectation, without judgment, or without the desire to control or manipulate it. Just being observant is a gift. Number 4 is being curious. Well, being curious allows you to learn from Earth, from heavens, from animals, from nature, from other people. Being curious about the experiences that you are experiencing. It takes you to a place of opportunity to see or experience something from a different perspective. It is being open to knowing what you don't know. It's believing you don't know everything, and there's room for improvement, room for change, and room for learning new. It's about being open to continued conversation and the possibility of something new without expecting an ending. Number 5 is being a risk taker. Now that's within reason. This is about saying yes in healthy ways, expanding your boundaries, your mental beliefs, removing restrictions that you or others may have placed there. It is having the courage to try something new, take a chance, experience what maybe you haven't experienced before. Don't label it as success or failure, but understand it may bring change, learning, and other opportunities. You will find that when you say yes, opens the door to other opportunities that you can continue to say yes to. When you start to say no, it closes the doors, it shuts down, and the universe looks at it as, oh, the door is shut, so the door remains shut. Saying yes opens the door and brings more opportunities. One of the principles of manifestation is saying yes. You might be focused in one area of your life, but saying yes to all areas of your life opens the channels and the flows of energy in all forms to come to you. Let the universe decide how those things are coming to you, and just say yes. Number 6 is caring. This is an understanding that there are others around you, and how they might be experiencing life is different from how you are experiencing life. It is sharing your gifts. It's being compassionate and loving in an easy flowing way without expectation or conditions that something be returned. Most humans have to learn about caring as it breaks down walls and puts others first. We've experienced lifetimes of fight and war and survival, but we also need to understand that we survived this on the energy of others. Caring is a lighter energy. It is caring for ourselves as well as caring for others around us. And that doesn't have to be to the detriment of ourselves. Number 7 is insight, the capacity to gain an accurate and deep intuitive understanding of something. This is understanding the why behind the why behind the why. There is depth, wisdom, and experience in gaining insights from events, observations, and experiences. Number 8 is adaptable. This requires us to have an understanding of ourself, knowing that you are able to navigate any event and that you're flexible, you're adaptable. You pull from your experiences or beliefs of self and adjust your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, and actions for whatever situation, event is happening. You can shift how you experience the outcome of the event. Without controlling it, you may not understand the flow of what you are experiencing, but you are willing to see what or where it's going and know and have the confidence in yourself that you can shift and flow with it. Number 9 is tact. This is poise. and knowing your boundaries and honoring others' boundaries, being aware and having the perception of maybe when you've crossed others' boundaries. This is having and holding sensitivity to others' experience. It's about being polished and allowing others to believe what they believe and experience what they might need to experience. And you don't have to control it or change it or shift it. If you voice an opinion, it is being aware of whether that opinion is warranted or welcomed. It is being empathetic, observant, caring, and knowing when to share or not share, when to listen and be quiet, when to say something and when not. Number 10, self-confident. Well, this is being sure of your place in the world. You may not have all the answers, but you are okay with saying you don't have all the answers. You have an inner knowing that you will have or you will get to those tools or the answers sometime in your life if it's important. You will figure out life. It's about being sure without being arrogant. If others do not hold or agree with the same beliefs that you have, it's trusting your boundaries, your voice, your heart. It's knowing what you need at this given moment. Number 11, being open-minded. This is like curious. This is in our mental field where we have beliefs or processes or even systems that we use to navigate our life. And they might be different than others' beliefs or others' systems. Being open-minded is being open to others, their systems, their processes, their beliefs, those things that might be different, new, or changing. It is an understanding and embracing that the universe is forever growing and we are forever learning. And because we are one with the universe, we are also forever discovering, changing, learning, and evolving. Number 12, being innovative. This is about introducing new ideas, original and creative in thinking, not simply repeating the words of others. It is embodying something and introducing a newly constructed concept. There are many, many, many others that repeat others' words or concepts, but being innovative is looking at or experiencing something new or different. And 13, unconventional, is not based on or conforming to what is generally done or believed. An example is he lives an unconventional life, something that's non-traditional, something that creates a paradigm shift or causes people to ponder or think outside of what they have maybe experienced before. And it shifts people to the desire to maybe seek this unconventional place and maybe try it. Number 14 is reflective, and that can have two meanings. To be reflective can mean two things. A surface that sends back light, heat, or sound. So as humans, we can reflect someone's light. We can reflect the light back to them. We can encourage them on their growth, their journey, their thoughts that they explore. We reflect an inner light to them. The second meaning of reflective can be someone who thinks or processes deeply. They internalize, they ponder, they explore, they be curious before sharing anything externally. 15 is being self-analytical. It's assessing ourself. It's one of the gifts of being human as we think we're deep analyzers, but being able to reflect and take data from an external or internal source and the points of those data and define a self-analysis that helps us gain data and knowledge and action upon the situation is powerful. This is having incredible self-trust and trust in your internal compass system, your mental processes, and your ability to adapt to either of those when desired or needed. I hear clients say often they're too analytical. They get in their head and they can't get out of the analysis paralysis. And this is a key of knowing when to step outside of that self-analytical, knowing yourself in what gives you direction and using the gift of analysis and self-reflection to ponder before you take an action, but not be stuck there. Number 16 is being alert. This mirrors our being awareness. It's being present here and now, today. We're excited and we're open and we're waiting and watching. Most important is being aware of the current energy and allowing your receptors to receive and process what you need and to filter out what's not necessary. Being alert to the energy shifts. Being alert to your shifts and how you're responding to the shifts. without judgment. And number 17 is being quick. The universe is forever changing and moving, and being quick is about learning, thinking, responding, and learning at a speed that is aligned to the experience. This may seem odd to some, but if you relate it to simple driving, in some situations, if you're not quick, you will cause or get into an accident. And sometimes you are required to act quick and know your human presence has the abilities to help you have the best outcome. It's to act and to act quickly when called to that. Now, this is not a total list of what you might experience. The human form has the capability to adapt, adjust, learn new each and every day. We have the ability to unlearn or stop doing things that sabotage, slow us down, or take us out of alignment. We have choice each day to how we're going to experience our emotional health, our mental processes, and how we interact with the vibration of the world. You might be listening to this and say, I didn't cover the classic descriptions of intuition, those experiences where you know your best friend is going to call you, or you know not to take this particular road because it's going to be under construction, or knowing that there's a problem ahead of you at work the day ahead. Those are intuition. But the foundation of intuition is all the components that allow you to live intuitively. These are the core attributes of our center, our self, that allows us to become intuitive, to use the gift of intuition. These are the attributes to be aware of, to develop further so that you can navigate into a higher version of yourself, a higher frequency of what the earth is delivering. We will always be in a time of change. We'll have rest points along our journey, and then there's these crazy shifts that we'll feel as if we're happening or they're happening around us at the speed of light. We will experience things we don't understand and things you don't want to understand. Know that you're supported, you're loved, and the universe is supporting you and your journey. And all is as it's meant to be at any given time. I'm Laurie Wondra. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to Messages from the Universe podcast with Laurie Wondra of Your Life Core. For current events or to schedule a private session with Laurie, please visit yourlifecore.com.